I wanted to impress my friends and the popular kid, so I made them chew up pretzels and spit it onto my hand. They started to tease me, saying things like I wouldn't eat it. So I did, multiple times. I held my head up high with pride, declaring that my immune system was great. So, they chewed up more food like orange slices and handed me it for me to eat. I did so effortlessly. I ate it all as my teacher looked in horror for what I had just done. Couple years later, and I'm mortified. I'm so sorry, immune system. So when I was in school there was these Minecraft guides for every Minecraft subject and all the cool kids had one, so I had to have them all and would peel the stickers off them and stick it in my bag. A couple years ago I wrote a cringy comment on a video and the creator responded, "I forget if I deleted it or not, it haunts my dreams and I can't go to sleep because of it." Most of the time in high school I would leave my pencil in another classroom, or just misplace them, sometimes many at a time. I found that since the hallways were so crowded, and people were focused on talking to their friends during break, that it was quite easy to snag a few pencils out of people's backpacks while walking by. A lot of people kept them in the water bottle holding things, and those were the easiest to grab. Though, sometimes, if I was waking behind someone, I could unzip their bag and pull pencils out. I'd give them away occasionally if I ended up with more than I could use. I'm the reason everyone was always out of pencils. When I was little I used to go to a daycare where they had some strict rules, especially surrounding mealtime. Some of these rules include making everyone pray before eating, even if they, like myself, aren't religious or have a different belief system, and you had to eat everything on your plate. Example of this, one time after I had stopped going there I went back for one morning and when I walked in they told me that they had made an extra waffle for me. I thanked them and told them that I had unfortunately already had some food at home because it was one of the days my dad would work from home. They got super pissed at me for not calling in advance to tell them, I was 5 or 6 at the time, that I had already eaten. Back to when I was still regularly going there, it was my birthday and I was turning 5. They had a fun rule that on your birthday you could choose what everyone had for lunch. I, a child of class, asked for mac and cheese with sliced up hot dogs in it. Unfortunately they didn't have it so they made PB&Js instead, which I hated. I ended up being one of the last people at the table. I was just picking at it and I wasn't allowed to leave until I finished it. I was alone with a younger boy when I decided to throw my crust on the floor so the dog could eat it. The dog did, but someone was walking by as I did this and saw the dog eating the crust and became super pissed. She, the owner's teenage daughter, came in and demanded to know who did it. From my experience, if you want a kid to tell the truth, don't make them scared to. I lied and told her that the boy did. He obviously denied this. He didn't do it. Then one of the owners, her mom, came in and decided that I, the innocent birthday girl, was telling the truth. She ended up spanking the boy for lying and I was dismissed. I still feel guilty about it to this day. Ugh, I'm not 100% sure I caused the damage on the other car, a silver car. The car had a scratch that was white and my car is purple. I didn't see any damage on my car when I checked. Later in lights, I saw my car has a dent with what looked like maybe a swipe of white, but it makes no sense if I sideswiped the other car. I didn't leave a note because I wasn't sure I caused any damage. Now I'm not sure and feeling super guilty. I live in a big city so this happens all the time. I was pretty young at the time, had to have been about 7 or 8. My sister is about 2 years younger, so she would have been around 5 or 6 maybe. I was really bored waiting for my mom to get out of the store. My dad would drive us around the parking lot until mom got out, and it would feel like an eternity. One day I decided to carve my sister's name into the door. I don't remember my intentions. I know they weren't malicious and I wasn't trying to frame her, but as a dumb kid it just made sense to carve her name there. My mom finished shopping and we went home. Once we got out of the car my parents noticed the carving. Now what happened must have been a stupid chain of events, because I never can make sense of how this happened. My parents must have forgotten which seat we were sitting in, because obviously I had to be the one to have done it. They saw her name and immediately started scolding her. Probably scared the hell out of her into a panic, because when they asked, after accusing. Not the greatest parenting move on their part, but they were great parent overall, she agreed it was her. I stood there shocked and relieved, but also slightly guilty. I knew she had my back and it kind of shaped me covering her ass in the future. A little while back I brought it up to her as we were joking and reminiscing on the past. I was getting ready to thank her for that moment of covering my ass. Me, remember that time mom and dad found your name carved in the car? Sister, OMG. Yes. I can't believe I did that. I don't even know what I was thinking carving my name into the door. My eyes got big and I just laughed with her. To this day no one knows I did it. Not even my sister. She actually thinks she truly carved her name into the car door. Now part of me feels more guilt, but I'll never come clean. I die with this one. I really don't know what it is. My mom and I have our issues, but we get along okay. My dad and I have a great relationship. I don't avoid them, I actively seek out to spend time with them. However, my parents frequently have house guests. They are for the most part nice, some are questionable / very political. I think my biggest problem is my parents rarely warn me when they're having guests, and generally they all get drunk and rowdy. I think it may also be because I work full-time, and am actually very pleasant and sociable outside the house. I come home tired, socially drained and ready to relax, and that's generally when I come home to the guests. I avoid them. And often my mom will try to bring them to my room, which often leads to me getting upset and being rude. Often she doesn't knock, and if I lock the door her and the guest beat on it. I feel bad. I even find myself starting to do this with their friends I quite enjoy, and even our family that comes over. I know I'm being rude, and I don't even know why. I just get mad and want to be left alone. I don't know if I'm just antisocial when at home, or if it's because my space feels invaded. I feel like a brat. I feel it is probably important to mention that I work in customer service. I have a very small inner circle of friends, and I do tend to push people away because of my depression. When I was in grade school, we all took a computer class to learn to type and do basic stuff. I used to open a Word document, Apple Works at the time, and type a couple letters on it and then sent 99 copies to the printer. I thought it was funny to make the teacher scramble to cancel the print job. I did it about 10 times but quit because I thought the teacher was onto me but was never confronted about it. No, with climate change being a global crisis, I feel some guilt for wasting paper. When I was about 10 in the 90s, I would see those late-night infomercials. One day I decided to attempt to call one of them. I phoned it up, it asked for a credit card number so I just entered a bunch of random numbers. I don't remember actually getting to talk to anyone. But I tried that 3 times. At the end of the month we got the phone bill and there was an extra $150 charge on it. My mom instantly started cussing out my stepdad thinking he called it. I think she even beat him a little. We were also super poor, so it really set us back. I never actually admitted it. I just let him take the fall for me. He was a dick anyways.